Hey everyone, I'm Leslie. Welcome to my channel. I have been so excited to use two of my new molds. The first one is the Saint Nick and the second one is called Winter Forage. Both of these are by IOD. I had taken this board and used one of the trimmings molds, and this board I was going to use in a different project, and it's just been sitting here, and I thought that edge looked like candy cane, so I said I'm using it for this project. This was kind of a long project, so I'm going to kind of skip through and just try to hit just the highlights. First thing I did was I got my Santa head ready using my air dry clay. Now I want to make his Santa suit because on the board I've drawn a chimney, and I want Santa to look like he's popping out of the chimney. So this part here, I'm just going to show you how I put together his Santa suit. I also used different parts of the St. Nick mold. I used just the furry trim on his hat to make part of the Santa suit. This Santa suit was inspired by Erin with the Provincial Farmhouse. She did one similar to this. I use Tight Bond Quick and Thick for my adhesive. Here on the Winter Forage mold, I just made castings and until I was happy with the way it looked. Next, I'm going to be taking pieces of cardboard and just cut out random shapes. I want the chimney to look like an old world stone chimney. So I'm just cutting out random pieces and I will be putting that down in the plaster. And also here I'm using my modeling paste by Master's Touch. I get it at Hobby Lobby. And I'm going across the top of the chimney and making little icicles hanging. I want it to look like it's covered in snow. Now I'm going to be taking a paintbrush and I'm going to be stippling the modeling paste all over the chimney. As I go along, I'm going to randomly place the little pieces of cardboard that look like stone into the modeling paste. I'm going to let that dry a little bit, and then when I go back with the second coat, I'm going to go in even thicker, especially around the little stones. I let this dry overnight, and now I'm going to take my Waverly chalk paint in the color plaster, and I'm going to give the whole board one good coat. Once that was dry, now I'm going to be taking Waverly chalk paint in the Snow White, and that's what I'm going to use on the fur trim of his hat, suit, and the snow on the chimney. Here I'm going to be taking my chalk paint in the color plaster, and I'm going to add some of my Dixie Belle, the sea spray mix, and that'll thicken it up. And also I'm going to put a few drops of layered chocolate, which is DIY paint, and I'm going to put a few drops at a time till I get it the color I want for the chimney. I want my paint to be thicker because I want that chimney to look like old world, like stucco type cement. You know what I'm talking about. I'm going to stipple the bottom of the chimney in this color, even over the little faux stones. Now I'm taking some of the plaster color and kind of dry brushing, bringing it up a little bit brighter just to give it more depth. I will also be using the DIY paint layered chocolate, and I'll be randomly doing just a few of the stones. I'll also be dry brushing the layered chocolate color too. Next, I'm going to be taking my Waverly chalk paint in the color moss, and I'm going to give all my foraged castings one good coat. Maybe two, depending on the coverage. This is going to take a little bit of time because I'm going to be going on the edge of the castings too, and you have to be take your time and be neat with that part of it. Now I'm just going to take a wet wipe and go around on the moss color and wipe back some. I want this to look aged. Here I'm just using DIY paint in the color Kissing Booth, and I'm giving the little berries one coat. Now I'm going to get Santa's hat and his jacket done in the same color Kissing Booth. As you can see here, I got Santa's face. I mixed up some colors to get the skin tone, and I did his eyes, and I had to get really close because they were so small to work with, because I had the idea that I was going to, as he would come out of the chimney, I wanted Santa to have the reflection of Rudolph in his eyes. And it was so small, I barely could get just a hint of a antler and his little red nose glowing. You can see it if you look close. The clay rope casting I thought would be perfect as a candy cane. So here I'm just taking the color Kissing Booth, and I'm going to go around the whole board. In every other one, I'm going to make a red stripe. Once all the paint was dry, I went around the edges with my sandpaper and gently gave it a good sanding because I want this to look old. Now I'm going to be taking my paint couture in the color Van Dyke Brown, and I'm going to go over the whole board, front and back. And I'll also be using my water mister to spray. It will help the Van Dyke Brown sink into all the castings and help it move. Because I did not put a sealer over this, I'm going to have to work in sections and wipe it back pretty quick. And I'll be using a paper towel and just some baby wipes, some wet wipes, to bring back that Van Dyke Brown. One thing I didn't do, and I think I may go back and do it, over the greenery, I should have went with my paint couture, the Luxe Metallic paint in the color bronze. I should have gave it a good dry brush over that with the gold. What do you think? I think I'll go back and add that to it. Now I'm going to be taking my Waverly chalk paint in Snow White. It's a bright white. And I'm going to dry brush over the fur on his hat and his jacket, his beard, his eyebrows, and also the snow on the chimney. I need to brighten that up a little bit. Now I'm going to be taking my Mod Podge and the snow on the chimney. I'm going to give it a really good coat of that because I'm going to sprinkle it with what they call mica flakes. This is my first time to use it, and this is in the color cream white. Oh my gosh, this stuff is absolutely gorgeous. I'm not sure how good it's going to show up on camera, but it is just so beautiful. Other than me going back and dry brushing some of the bronze paint over the greenery, this project is complete. I had so much fun with this project. I got to use my new molds, and I have other stuff planned, so please come back. I appreciate each and every one of you. I want to thank everybody that is subscribing and watching my channel and helping it grow. You don't know how much that means to me because I love doing this. So if you like this, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribe.